G'day everybody, Daz here from my Aussie Garden and Kitchen with a 4-week update on my mulberry. So as some of you would have seen, just 4 weeks ago, I gave this guy a hard prune, and as you can see, it's responded really well. Mulberries love a hard prune. Never be scared to prune them back at least 1/3 of their size. They love it. So if you check out these branches, you can see where all the new growth is, all those buds that sprouting out little berries, little bits of fruit. Just, it's all over this tree. It's prolific. I love this tree. It's so easy to maintain and it's very rewarding with its fruit. So when I pruned this tree, I waited for a couple of days and I came back with a fresh set of eyes and gave it another trim, I think 2 days later, just to see little bits that I'd missed, because you always miss something the first time around. Now I am looking at this group of branches here and I am considering removing them completely. I'm just wondering whether when this actually comes into full growth with full leaves and berries, whether it's going to crowd this section here and stop the light and some of the air. The tree won't suffer at all by cutting away this group of branches at this stage of the growth cycle. So I'll wait and see what happens with this. If it's any good, it stays. If it's bad, it goes, with no real detrimental effect on the tree overall. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that I don't get a big frost. I should be past most of my frosts now, but if there is a frost coming, I am actually going to get a ladder and throw a big sheet over this, because a frost really will hurt these little tiny fruit and leaves at this stage. It happened to me last year, but thankfully they did grow back and it recovered, but I'd rather not deal with that. So if I can just throw a sheet over this and save myself a bit of worry, that's the way to go. So as I said, I pruned at the end of winter. This is now the 3rd week of spring, and you can see just how much growth has come from this tree since it was pruned only 4 weeks ago. It's so good. Now, I did have somebody say to me via email, if you're cutting all that off the tree and it gets that high, how are you going to pick all that fruit when it grows that high? But it doesn't. This is why I pruned in winter. As you can see, I've pruned it to this height and this shape. This is where all the fruit's growing. So I'm going to get a nice, beautiful crop of fruit that I can walk around and pick by hand without a ladder. Then, after fruiting, the tree's going to continue to grow. And by the time winter comes around next year, this tree is going to be huge again, with full growth, with big leaves that are just starting to fall off in that winter cycle. So then that's where pruning comes in again at the end of winter. The leaves will be gone, and I'll just go and get all those really big branches and cut them off down at roughly this height that you can see here. And the cycle just goes on and on. And this tree here, I estimate this tree to be about 10 years old, and you can see the size of it now. It's very well easy to manage. It doesn't take that much time at all. I think pruning it in total took me maybe 25 minutes, if that. And now soon, if I be patient, I'm going to have some delicious mulberries growing on this tree. Somebody asked me if I'm going to net this tree. I will net this tree because the birds just love the mulberries here, and I just can't stop the birds. I've got a beautiful forest on my back fence here, and they just love the berries. So I do need to net the trees if I want my share of the fruit. How do you prune your mulberry trees? Have you got specific things that you try to do? Do you do it like me, where you try to have an open center, or is there another technique? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know if there's any information out there on mulberry trees that I don't know that you could share with me. The more that we could share together, the better we are at growing our trees. Another question I had was propagation. Yes, you can certainly propagate from the cuttings at winter. So with propagating, I'll just take my cuttings, and I'll take a cutting that's as thick as a pencil, and I'll make it about that long, and I'll try to put 2 of the buds down below the soil level if I can. A nice soft soil for the roots to grow. If I've got rooting hormone, I'll dip the end of that branch into the rooting hormone, and then I'll just let that go. I'll sit it in the sun for the next couple of months, and that should take and root. And I've got trees here. I've got probably 4 or 5 trees that were the size of a twig like this, and now they are beautiful trees that are bearing fruit. As you can see in the undergrowth of the tree here, I cut this off because I don't want branches growing down low or under here, but you can see that I've got buds growing here and I don't need them. So it's not going to hurt the tree either now or earlier or even later on. Just come along and pick them off with your finger, just like this. I'll give that a proper clean up off camera. But yep, it's not going to hurt the tree at all. If you see some growth that you don't want, you can still remove it now. It's perfectly fine. Even back here, there's a little bud that's grown, and it's going to grow the branch into the tree with the leaves in the center of the tree where I don't want it. So it's fine to pick them off right now. I'll pop the original pruning video link in my description, and also I'll link to it at the end of the video so you can just click on it straight away to see how I pruned this beauty and how easy it was. That video is full of tips on how to prune. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next cooking or gardening video. Bye for now.